Okay, I'm going to read some poems that have puns in them somewhere, sometimes in the title, sometimes in one of the lines, or more of the lines. Sometimes the whole idea is just a conceptual pun. This poem has an echo of Wordsworth in the title, and also Blood, Sweat, and Tears. It's called "The Tree is Farther to the Man." It's in 4 parts. The first part is the man speaking. Man, what a tree you are. Look at your girth, your spread, your leaves. Look at your talented branches, your perfect bark. Even your roots are not hidden from our view. Like May dolphins in the Indian Ocean, they peek playfully from the ground, signs of stolid accomplishment. Oh, what a marvelous tree you are. Amazing tree, outstanding tree. The tree. I don't think I can stand up straight 1 second more. My roots are exhausted. My bark feels dead. My branches have advanced in so many ill-considered directions, I'm lost in the map of their ancestry. I am constricted by rings. The weight of self crushes me. Woodpeckers, bloodworms, spider mites, and scullery bugs crave my pulp. I long to fall. Lightning. I will strike the tree and smash it. It will splinter under my sharp fist. It will topple. It shall not stand. All its branches will lie in horrifying squalor. History. I have photographed the tree in its infancy, maturity, old age, and decline. Now I will photograph the tree in its demise, upended in swart disarray. This poem is called "We Must Be Carefully Taught." T-A-U-T. Courage. Coraje. There's nothing behind Puerto Numero Tres. Pay no attention to the cabeza in the transom. In the dread of night, navigate by the sliver moon. Pero cuidado. No road leads to magnetic north. Do you remember, amigo, how to give change for $1? 6 nickels and 7 dimes, 3 quarters, 2 dimes, and 1 nickel, 16 buffalo nickels and 2 Liberty dimes? Or a box full of slugs and a pair of brass knuckles, a leather sap, a gravity knife, and mercury gloves. El mundo es un lugar peligroso. The earth is a fearful domain. Remember, gringo, you used to live there. This one is called Muscle Memory. M-U-S-S-E-L. Andreas Capellanus taught that the word love comes from the word meaning to fish. I used to fish off a bridge on the eastern shore. There's a picture of me on a rampart holding a flounder. My hair is disheveled, my chest is puffed. I'm holding the flatfish by the tail and motioning to my cousin who was to die before his daughter turned 2. I had plans that night to borrow a towel and lie down under the pier with this blousy Towson girl to unleash the lost longing in her face. But I had a love and could not be untrue. And this one, same kind of title pun, is called Not I, K-N-O-T-U-I-E, Not I. The diagnosis was peculiar, the doctors agreed, but so was the condition. He had not I. He was unable to see a piece of string, but he could see the knot. He was unable to make out a plank, but he could see the darkened whirl. He was unable to see his girlfriend's discomfort, but he saw her stomach tighten as they discussed Thanksgiving. She wanted to get married. He was afraid. Their bickering led to lumpy disagreements, but he knew sooner or later they'd fall back into each other's arms. That's the way it is with the world. What waits for us at the end is embrace. He stared into the large mirror in her living room and watched as she wound her stringy arms around his skinny neck. It's called Joan of Dark. It's a dialogue between an older man and a young girl. What happens in heaven stays in heaven. That's not true, she said to me. You know it's not true. Yes, the acts of paradise, slippery like syrup, slide down the clouds and drip onto the tops of the trees, where birds and squirrels reveal them to man. What color are the birds, she asked. Pink. The pink birds and checkerboard squirrels reveal the sly doings of the chubby cherubim. What sly doings? I meant sky doings. Reveal the sky doings of half-pint angels. I love heaven, don't you? I'm not allowed to tell. They will burn me at the stake if I tell. Like Joan of Dark, just like Joan of Dark. This poem puns on the word Babble. The title is B-A-B-B-L-E, but there's a reference to the Soviet writer Isaac Babel and also to the Tower of Babel. We had a family copy of Isaac Babel's stories, out of which my dad would read aloud when he was home, which, owing to his employment issues, was very often. I had no idea what I was listening to, but that's just another way to pretend to define childhood, I guess. Anyway, the stories were short, some just a page, and I let my imagination sail away on some word that jumped out at me. One always did. And then, for those minutes, I was outside the battered gates of self, alone in a city empty of rockets and God, where I saw tower after tower of arrested escape. This one is called Bogdan. It has the pun in one of the lines. Dad was dying. Meanwhile, the blood from a puncture wound was drying on Bogdan's palm. He was a 10th grade messiah, famous for acts of attrition. I had solicited his help with a bully who'd been threatening to beat me up for wearing a leather vest to school. He said he'd see what he could do. The next day, my tormentor was not in class. I went looking for my savior. He was loitering by the cafeteria tray. Returned, eyeing the cruelty in passers-by. I went up to him and asked for another favor. You only get one. I pondered that. This one is called Here's Looking at Euclid. Here's looking at Euclid. He's looking at Euclid, but he can't concentrate. The noise of Bakersfield cicadas is invading his ears. He's looking at Euclid, but he can't concentrate. Hoboken memories are marching into his mind. He's looking at Euclid, but he can't concentrate. Far East anise is stuck between his teeth. He's looking at Euclid, but he can't concentrate. The elevated smell of Delphi is seeping into his nose. He's looking at Euclid, but he can't concentrate. A Catalan fishing boat is sailing into his eyes. He's looking at Euclid. Meanwhile, the sandstorm of time keeps polishing the geometry of space. This one's called Delicatesse. It comes from, there's a quote from Rimbaud in the poem, and the quote is, Par délicatesse, j'ai perdu ma vie. Because of sensitivity, I have lost my life. So, par délicatesse. Rimbaud said, Par délicatesse, j'ai perdu ma vie. In the delicatessen, I have lost my life. I know what he meant. I also have wandered among the smoked fish, lean pastrami, marble rye, have stood by the wicked pickle barrel, have stared longingly at the crumbly halva. 2. Dante said one day he found himself in a delicatessen, selva obscura. Not knowing which hour to walk down, not knowing which meat to choose, he too felt he had lost his life. I know what he meant. I too have suffered paralysis in a plethora of possibility. Belly or nova, herring or tongue, chubs or sable, kreplach or kishki, kugel or blueberry blintz. 3. Fitzgerald. In the real dark night of the soul, it is always 3 o'clock in the delicatessen. Oh, lost. Oh, lost. He lost his compass in the schmaltz. I know what he meant. I've been in the 3 a.m. cream cheese. I've known the hole in the bagel. The potato knish is doughy. My life? A schmear in someone else's appetite. This poem is literary. I do teach English in college, and this one refers to The Tempest. In The Tempest, there's a young couple, there's a Prince Ferdinand, and he marries Miranda. This is called Ferdinand Gets Married. Now, Ferdinand marries Miranda, so the form of this poem is a series of questions and answers like what policeman might ask a suspect, reading the suspect is right. So this is Ferdinand getting Mirandized, okay? That's the fun. Ferdinand gets married. You have the right to remain angry, but anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to your own opinion. If you can't afford an opinion will be provided for you. You have the right to be happy. If you can't afford happiness, contentment may be made available. You have the right to consult your feelings, but your intelligence may not be present during questioning. Do you understand these rights? If you understand these rights, say, I do. This one is called Drinking an Orange Julius while listening to Pink Floyd. It has a lot of puns in it, which I won't explain, but I hope you'll get some. Oh, just in the first line, the word cash is spelled C-A-C-H-E. Okay. Drinking Orange Julius while listening to Pink Floyd. I was strapped for cash, so I called my friend Paulo, who wears Ecuadorian gray and prefers Celine to Ceylon, and asked him how to juggle all the crap life was throwing my way. And he said, "Boyo, take your chessboard to Andorra and mate someone." But I had already done that, so he was no help at all. I grabbed one of my shelf improvement books and read, "I saw the best minds of my generation enter law school and realized that all the works I thought I knew had been defaced by assassins. I asked the wife of bathroom for a hit of Relieve. She handed me the anodyne and went off to make chicken a la Siegfried. I drifted into dream. A man in a turquoise slicker sat on a skittish horse wearing an iron hat. He was pointing at a group of children in the houseware section of Walmart playing catch with the throw rugs. A tsunami was rolling through the aisles. The man bellowed, 'Watch out!' but he couldn't force their attention. The waters poured over all the products of mankind. Death came as a sigh of relief." Dis-ease, and it's D-I-S-E-A-S-E, dis-ease. It's like playing chess in a room without lights. You feel for the rook and knock over a bishop. You can't tell whose pawn is whose, but you move anyway. You realize at the start that all strategy is tactile, that every attempt to kill the king is a stab in the dark. But it's your turn, and you're surrounded by horses. You can smell them breathing down your neck. You enlist the aid of the Dark Queen, but her power flounders because she doesn't know where she is. Your own king is in danger. He inches left toward imagined safety, insisting a heated corner can stand in for a palace. Lit by his visionary gleam, the whole board for 1 second can be glimpsed, but then subsides into sudsy blackness. He believes he's seen his salvation, but he doesn't realize only his mate can rescue him. This is my last one, and this one's called Where There's a Will. Well, maybe you can guess the answer. Where there's a will, where there's a will, there is death. Where there's a will, there is death. If I don't come back, the safety deposit key is in the cufflink box on the desk. My password is my sister's nickname and age when I turn 30. Don't waste your time sorting out my effects. Spend all the insurance money on your happiness. Remember, adjust the past so it opens easily. Love trumps justice. Rust is the badge of survival. Greet the evening with sweetness. Thank you. Thank you.